Now I will be demoing how to make mung bean brownies. They are an alternative to making black bean brownies, and they are just as nutritious and easy to make. So first of all, I took 1 cup of mung beans and I soaked them overnight just in some water. So you don't have to soak mung beans, they can cook without soaking them, but I just always like to soak any of my beans. It makes them a little bit easier to digest. But mung beans are actually one of the most easily digested beans that are out there. And so for children, this is really nice for them to eat. So I will get started. So first of all, I will get the coconut oil on the stove. We'll just turn the stove to low and we will start to just melt it. If you're using a different kind of oil, olive oil or walnut oil or whatever kind of oil you like to use, it can just go directly in, but I like to melt this first so it just absorbs better into the final product. So just turn it down to 2 or to low. So we know that coconut oil is a great yin tonic, and it is also really good at helping to clear summer heat, just like mung beans are. So mung beans are really good at clearing summer heat. So summer heat is just when in the summertime, it's like heat stroke. Our bodies don't cool off as well. So the 1 cup will make about 2 cups of mung beans, sometimes a little bit more. So then I just have extra that I can just use in a stir fry or just use for something else. And so these mung beans are already cooked, and here's how. So you take the soaked mung beans, you drain them, and I always give them a little bit of a rinse, and then you add them to a pot and just top with water and always leave a few inches over top of the beans. And you turn the heat to high and let them start boiling. And then once they're boiling, you can turn down the heat, let them simmer, and they will take anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes to be fully cooked. You just want to make sure that when you squeeze a bean that it's not hard, that it's a little bit mushy. So for this recipe, even if you overcook the beans a little bit, it's no problem because we're just going to be processing them into the final product. So you can let them cook for a little bit longer if you'd like. So to the food processor, basically everything will go into the food processor and all get ground up. So I will start by getting the maple syrup in. So I will be using a 1/2 cup of maple syrup in this. So maple syrup is just a really nice alternative sweetener other than sugar. It still has a lot of nutrients, and so it's healthier than some of the refined sugar versions. I also have a 1/4 cup of cocoa that is going in here. So we know that cocoa is a little bit stimulating and energizing for the body, and it's a little bit warming, and cocoa also has a prebiotic effect in the body to help to nourish our gut bacteria. So I also just have a teaspoon of vanilla here. A couple of eggs. So eggs are really good at nourishing the jing of the kidneys. They nourish our essence, which is our jing, and this final product is actually really good for children who tend to wet the bed, especially if it's due to damp heat. His mung beans are really good at draining damp heat. They're also very detoxifying for the body. They detoxify the whole body. So here I have a 1/4 teaspoon salt going in. And I also have a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder just to help with the lift. So I'll just go check on the coconut oil, make sure that's melted. And it is. So this is the final bit that's going in. Okay, so you can also use mung beans if a child has an itchy rash. So any type of heat condition in the body, mung beans are really good for. They should mainly be eaten in the spring and the summer when it's hotter out. You don't want to give too many mung beans in the winter, fall and winter, because they're a little bit cooling. Okay, so everything's in there ready to go. So then we just want to process this for just about a minute, just until everything's nice and mixed in and broken down. And so to bake this, you will need a 9x9 baking pan, and just lined with some parchment paper. Just it'll help at the end to remove the brownies afterwards. Just get this off, get it poured in. Get this out of the way. Okay, it's all ready to go. When I was in China, they would serve mung beans on the side of the street in the morning for people's breakfast. So you could just buy a cup of porridge mung beans, just lightly sweetened with honey, and they would just throw a straw in there, and you could just walk away and drink it. So instead of everybody walking around with coffee, everyone had a mung bean drink. And how delicious is that? How mung beans that are so full of nutrients. So here it is. So I've had the oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So we'll just pop this into the oven, and it will take about 25 minutes to cook. And when it's all ready, we'll take it out, cut it up, and give it a try. All right, so these have just come freshly out of the oven. They were in there for about 25 minutes. I added about 5 minutes today, so sometimes you just have to watch closely and make sure that they're set. You can tell in the middle they'll be set. If you wiggle the pan back and forth, it should be set all the way around. And so we'll just give these a cut. I forgot to mention earlier that mung beans actually contain really high amounts of folate. 1 cup contains 80% of your daily value of folate. So not only is this great for children, this is also really good for pregnant women. So we know that folate is really good at protecting against spina bifida. So we just cut these into nice little squares. They're all ready to go, and I will just taste a little piece off the corner here. Make sure it all turned out good. Always have to taste your food after you cook it. You cannot tell there's mung beans. This actually tastes like a true brownie. The coconut oil comes out really nicely, and you can taste the chocolate flavor. It's got a nice chocolate coconut flavor, and it's just nice and soft and mellow, and it just almost melts in your mouth. One more way that you can utilize these mung bean brownies is for a dessert. So all you need to do is just, as you would a brownie, just plate it and just take a scoop of ice cream, and it makes for a wonderful dessert. And that's mung bean brownies.